You know that old saying, right? Too much of a good thing? Well, we're constantly told to eat our fruits and vegetables, but what actually happens when you push that advice to the absolute staggering limit? Today, we're diving into a really fascinating medical reality. Can a famously healthy food actually turn toxic? In this explainer, we are going to explore 5 incredibly healthy foods that, when consumed in massive, unnatural quantities, fight back in some pretty shocking ways.
Look, we all know fruits and veggies are fantastic for us. They're packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants our bodies desperately need. But today, we're looking at the extreme edges of nutrition. We're exploring the science of what happens when healthy eating goes way, way overboard, proving that the dose truly makes the poison. Let's start our countdown with a leafy green favorite.
Number 1 on our list, spinach and the oxalate overload.
Now, spinach is a total nutritional powerhouse. It is loaded with vitamin A, vitamin C, iron, and magnesium to support our immune system and bone health. But here is the catch. It contains a compound called oxalates. Oxalates are naturally occurring plant chemicals, and in the human body, when their concentration in your urine gets too high, they can react with calcium and actually crystallize. They essentially turn into microscopic shards of rock candy inside your kidneys, which causes excruciatingly painful kidney stones. And to make matters worse, some people are genetic superabsorbers who naturally take in 50% more oxalates than the average person.
To see how this plays out in a dramatic, real-world scenario, the medical literature details a truly shocking case. A woman's kidneys shut down entirely after a 10-day juice cleanse. During this cleanse, she was drinking smoothies containing 2 cups of raw spinach every single day. This massive influx of oxalates completely overwhelmed her system, leading to acute kidney failure. To really put this extreme amount into perspective, if she had used kale instead of spinach for those green smoothies, she wouldn't have had this problem at all. She would have had to juice an astonishing 650 cups of kale every single day just to get the equivalent toxic oxalate dose found in her daily spinach smoothies.
Now, I need to make a very important safety clarification here. This is not typical consumption. Her risk was severely amplified by a couple of unique factors. First, she had a history of gastric bypass surgery, which naturally increases oxalate absorption. Second, she was on prolonged antibiotics, and this is critical because antibiotics can wipe out a friendly gut bacteria called oxalobacter, which literally eats oxalates for breakfast. Without it, her body just absorbed a toxic amount. So absolutely enjoy your spinach, just don't go on a 10-day liquid spinach bender.
Moving right along to Section 2, the banana, and a massive potassium and dopamine surge.
Bananas are universally celebrated. They're an amazing source of heart-healthy potassium, and they actually contain dopamine too. But let's look at the absolute extreme. We have a startling case from the scientific literature detailing an adolescent patient. For over 2 years, this patient obsessively restricted her diet to eating up to 20 bananas a day, all while drinking very little water. Obviously, this is a highly abnormal, massive intake of a single food item over an extended period.
When doctors checked her blood, the results were wild. She had developed a condition called hyperkalemia, which is dangerously high potassium. Her levels shot up to 6.1, which can severely impact cardiac function and literally stop your heart. But even more surprisingly, because bananas contain actual dopamine in their fruit and peel, her whole blood dopamine levels skyrocketed. They went from a normal level of around 11 all the way up to 210 nanograms per milliliter.
This massive, unnatural banana diet didn't just affect her blood chemistry. The extreme dopamine and potassium surge induced severe dysthymia. This is a profound state of psychological change and a serious mood disorder. These psychological and physical abnormalities only resolved when she was finally taken off this extreme restricted habit. Again, this is in extreme amounts, but it beautifully shows how powerful food chemistry can be.
Coming in at number 3, carrots and the beta-carotene effect. Carrots are legendary for improving night vision and boosting immunity. They are incredibly rich in vitamin A. Just half a carrot fulfills your entire daily requirement. But the compound that gives them their bright color, beta-carotene, has a bit of a catch. If you were to eat a massive, slightly dramatic amount, say a full kilogram of raw carrots every single day, your body simply cannot process the beta-carotene fast enough. It completely overwhelms your system, leading to a startling condition called carotenemia. This is a condition where your skin literally turns a yellowish-orange color.
Now you might be wondering how to tell this apart from something super serious like liver failure. The secret is looking at the eyes. With carotenemia, the orange discoloration is most noticeable on your palms and the soles of your feet, but the whites of your eyes remain perfectly normal.
In jaundice, the eyes turn yellow. While turning orange might sound like a funny party trick, this extreme beta-carotene intake is actually putting significant metabolic stress on your body. It forces your liver into massive overdrive, because your liver acts as the chemical processing plant trying to convert all that beta-carotene into active vitamin A. When this pathway is flooded constantly, especially if combined with high-dose supplements, it can push the body toward actual vitamin A toxicity. That is deeply dangerous and can cause severe headaches, bone pain, and central nervous system issues. To cure the orange skin, you just have to go on a strict low-carotene diet, though it can take months for your normal color to return.
Next up, number 4, chili peppers and the capsaicin kick.
Chili peppers are fantastic. They act as a great, healthy salt alternative, they can speed up your metabolism, and they're packed with antioxidants. But they harbor a very fiery defense mechanism. The culprit here is capsaicin. This is the active compound that gives chilies their intense heat, and it works by literally tricking your nervous system. It directly binds to TRVP receptors, sending an emergency signal to your brain that your mouth or your stomach is physically burning, even though there's no actual heat present. In huge, concentrated doses, this sensory overload triggers severe inflammation, cold sweats, dizziness, and intense blood pressure changes.
Just to show you how dramatic this can get, let's look at a case out of Germany. A 27-year-old man was hospitalized with agonizing abdominal swelling and severe pain after consuming roughly 600 milligrams of capsaicinoids. How on earth did he do this? By eating 4 ghost peppers, literally some of the hottest peppers on the planet, during an extreme eating contest. It took him hours of absolute agony and vomiting before his body finally began to recover.
Now, scientists point out that a truly lethal dose of capsaicin is virtually impossible for a human to consume, simply because your body will force you to vomit it up long before it kills you. However, certain high-risk groups need to be incredibly careful. Children, people with irritable bowel syndrome, gastrointestinal issues, or cardiovascular diseases can experience severe, excruciating symptoms, like heart palpitations or dangerous gastric distress, from doses that a totally healthy person might easily tolerate.
And finally, we reach Section 5, the humble potato, and the glycoalkaloid danger.
The potato is a massive global dietary staple, providing great carbohydrates and fiber. But the potato plant actually belongs to the nightshade family, and it naturally produces a highly toxic chemical defense mechanism against pests and fungi. These natural toxins are called glycoalkaloids, specifically alpha-chiconin and alpha-salonine. They're mostly concentrated in the potato's peel, and especially in any green spots or sprouts that develop when the potato is exposed to light. These compounds are dangerous because they physically disrupt the cell membranes in your gut. They literally poke tiny holes that cause severe gastrointestinal distress. Furthermore, they inhibit a vital nervous system enzyme called acetylcholinesterase, which you need for transmitting nerve signals. In mild cases, this causes severe nausea and vomiting, but in the most extreme poisonings, it can severely suppress the central nervous system, leading to paralysis, respiratory insufficiency, and even cardiac failure.
Let's look at how this happens inside the body. In one clinical human trial, a volunteer ate mashed potatoes containing a heavy dose of 1.25 milligrams of glycoalkaloids per kilogram of body weight. About 4 hours later, they began suffering from severe nausea and vomiting. But notice the really crucial factor in how the body processes this. These toxins clear out of the human body very slowly, taking more than 24 hours. This means that if you're eating heavy amounts of high-toxin green potatoes day after day, these dangerous compounds don't just pass right through you. They can silently accumulate in your system, building up day by day, until they hit a dangerous toxic threshold.
And that brings us to our final underlying truth. The biggest thing you should take away from this explainer is that our bodies rely entirely on balance. Even healthy foods can be harmful in extreme amounts. We are meant to eat a varied, balanced diet, not 20 bananas a day, pounds of raw spinach, or an entire kilogram of carrots. So I have to ask, which of these extreme food